that time of year where we find out where the Raiders are going to be playing and when they're going to be playing. The NFL schedule is out, and this is my predictions on how the Raiders are going to fare this coming year. God willing, we're going to have a pretty good year. So let's just dive into what I think the Raiders' schedule is going to pan out to be, how we're looking, what is our win-loss ratio going to be. Got to thank today's sponsor of the channel, and that is Earth Elixir. They offer the Tongat Ali and Fedosia agrestis, which has been proven clinically to raise your testosterone without the need of TRT or testosterone replacement therapy. The link itself will save you an additional 15% just for the Raider D family. Preseason, we are at Minnesota, then we will have Dallas in the house and San Francisco. That is weeks 1, 2, 3. You're going to see Aiden O'Connell and Minshew split reps in the Minnesota Vikings game and the Dallas Cowboys game as well. And then I think in week 3, it will be a battle for that third place spot. And then coming into week 1, obviously, I believe it's going to be Aiden O'Connell as the starter for week 1 as well as the entire season, because I think he is going to blow some people away with his play, and all the haters are going to be, eating crow, because I think Aiden O'Connell is something special, and he will be something special this year. So week 1, we are going to be at Los Angeles Chargers. So I think that we just continue the humiliation of them that we did at the end of the year last year. And they are in a rebuild situation down there. They have a new offense for Herbert to learn. He may struggle coming out of the gate with that offense. And we have defensive linemen that are going to chase him all over the field. So I think we squeak out a victory on that. And by squeak, I think we'll beat them by 14. Moving on to week number 2. Against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, a lot of the talking heads have us losing to the Baltimore Ravens, and I see it differently. One thing about the Baltimore Ravens is with Lamar Jackson is, last year's MVP. He is a fantastic offensive weapon out there on the field. But if you get him flustered with a defensive line, which we have, you could see him throw a couple of interceptions and start to try and rely on his legs, which plays into our defense and allows us to get out there and squeak out a victory on them. This is going to be a lot closer of a game. I think we win this game by 7, maybe even by a field goal, but I think we do eke out a victory here that makes us 2-0 to start the season. That's going to bode well for the defense. It's also going to bode well for Aiden O'Connell. We're going to go up against Carolina Panthers in week 3. And let me tell you, they are not any better than they were last year. They still are bottom of the barrel. They are terrible. And so I think the Raiders are going to handedly walk out with a victory here. The Raiders will be at home, so this is going to be our home opener. Bryce Young is going to have to come and face that defensive line. He may throw 6 interceptions, and Jack Jones may walk away with 3 walk-off pick sixes. So another one there, that's going to make us 3-0. Then we have Cleveland come to town, and I think this will be a decent game, but I think that we're going to win this one by 7. So that's going to make us 4-0. And then we have Denver will be in the Broncos. They're going to be starting a rookie quarterback, and the dude is a very efficient rookie quarterback, but against our defense, he's going to have fits. And let's be honest, most rookie quarterbacks really struggle their rookie year. So I expect nothing less out of Bo Nix than struggle mania and throwing interceptions. And therefore, the Raiders continue their dominance over the Denver Broncos, making us 5-0 for the first time in a very long time. But this is going to be a great season. Then we go up against Pittsburgh. Now, Pittsburgh's an interesting one. This one's more of a coin toss type of situation because they are very well coached and they're just a good team always. You can never count them out. And so it's really going to depend. Is Russell Wilson the QB here? Is he having a second coming of his career? Has he revitalized it? Or have they moved off of him by now? And now it's, Justin Fields, who's going to be going up against his old OC, who knows all the ins and outs about Justin Fields, which he can then go and tell Patrick Graham, our defensive coordinator, how to defeat him. Going to be an interesting one. We win that one as well. We'll be at home, and we'll be 6-0. Then week 7, we face the Rams. So this starts a very tough. This is the toughest part of our entire schedule. We actually have a fairly weak schedule this year. So with that, we should definitely be making the playoffs just based off of the schedule. But this part of the schedule, midway through week 7 through 9, is ugly. And it's ugly because we play the Rams at the Rams in LA. And the Rams are a very well-coached team. Sean McVay is a guru offensive guy. He's a player's coach. He motivates the team. If they're healthy, this is going to be a tough test. I think the Raiders eke out a victory here, though. I think we're going to be on such a high. We're going to have so much going for us that I think that we're going to come away with this one with a victory here, and we'll be 7-0. We'll be probably one of 3 teams that'll be undefeated at this point in the season. And there will be a lot of hype going around the Raiders. But then we have KC come to town. Now, this all depends on how KC is playing at this point. But if the Chiefs are playing on all cylinders, this is going to be a big test for the Raiders. I think out of this 3-week span, this is going to be the toughest game so far in the season. And again, it's going to be one of those 50-50 coin tosses. But I'm going to go ahead and give us a loss here, our first loss. I think we're going to be coming off of an away game. We're going to all be all hyped up about it, maybe a little overconfident. And then maybe we make some mistakes here and KC walks away with a victory. It's okay. It's all right. You don't have to go undefeated. You just have to make the playoffs. And then what happens from the playoffs and the Super Bowl is a whole different level of football. So I'm okay with maybe losing this game. So that would give us our first loss, making us 7-1. Week 9 is against the Cincinnati Bengals. This is another tough game. If Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals are firing on all cylinders and they don't have any injury issues, this could be another game that we end up with a L. That would make us 7-2. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one to the Bengals. I think we're probably going to be feeling a little bit defeated by KC, and we got to go into the Cincinnati. It's a very tough place to play. So we'll go ahead and give them the L there. That makes us 7-2. But hey, we got the bye week, which is great timing coming off that hard part of the schedule. Rejuvenate, revamp, and we come into Miami against the Dolphins. I think Christian Wilkins goes off in this game. I think we win this game, making us 8-2 on the season. 8-2 on the season. I almost lost myself there. Then we go with the Broncos in our house. I think we put up 70 points against them on this game. Just continue our domination. Not even a need to talk about it. Makes us 9-2. And then we face the Chiefs again in KC. Now, we're already pretty much guaranteed getting in the playoffs at this point at 9-2. But we need a victory here. We need to at least split our meetings with the Chiefs in order to make sure that we can win the AFC West. I think we bring them another Christmas nightmare, even though this isn't Christmas. This is the Black Friday game, I believe. It is. So it's week 13, Friday. This is going to be an afternoon game, Pacific Standard Time, 12 o'clock. So, yeah, At KC, going to be a tough game, but I think we eke out a victory there. We come in firing all cylinders. We're 10-2. We have split with the Chiefs 50-50. Week 14 against Tampa Bay Buccaneers down there in Tampa Bay. A lot of traveling going on. Hey, I think that the Raiders defense will bring us a victory here, and we'll move on to 11-2. Then we go up against the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins, dangerous quarterback, can throw up a lot of yards, a lot of points. Will he still be healthy by this point? Will the team be firing on all cylinders? Going to be a tough game. I'm going to go ahead and give us the Raiders that one as well, making us 13-2. Then we go against the Jaguars. The Jaguars is a tough team to beat, but they're going to be in our house. I'm going to go ahead and 50-50 this one. I'm going to give this one to the Jags. Trevor Lawrence, when he's hot, he's hot. So if he's hot into the season, that's when teams, playoff teams get hot. I'll give that to him. Makes us 13-3. And then we go against the Saints, the meeting with Derek Carr, make history where Derek Carr loses literally against every single team in the NFL. Max Crosby probably going to come away with 3 sacks on this one. Derek Carr is going to be frustrated, throw a couple of interceptions, and the Raiders walk off with at least winning by 14 on this one here. And then we end the season with the Chargers coming to the Raiders. And, by this time we've locked up the AFC West, and we're probably just playing backups at this point. But even with the backups, the Chargers are going to be demoralized. We still get a victory here, which basically sweeps the Chargers and the Broncos, and we end up, I'm going to say, 14-3 on the season, win the AFC West, and then Brock Bowers is going to be the MVP. I think he'll get he'll get the Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year award. I'm going to say he's going to get 8 to 10 touchdowns in the red zone. He's going to probably have 200 yards on the ground and 800 yards receiving. He is going to be an extremely dynamic addition to the Raiders offense. And the Raiders may even end up with a first-round bye in the playoffs. And from there, who knows? Playoffs is a whole different thing. I'll make those type of videos when we get closer to the playoffs. But let me know, Nation, what do you guys think? Are the Raiders going to end up winning the AFC West? Do you like my assessment at 14-3 with the Raiders on the season? Let me know down there in the comments below.